We are nearing the end of our second week together, so let's go ahead and put into work today and let's see what our bodies are truly capable of in today's full body workout. Welcome back to the program and welcome back to day 6 of the workout. Again, it's Frank here and I'm going to help you feel, move, and look better through mobility, training, and nutrition. And then today, we're in day 6. We're going to be building upon what we did last week, finishing on week 1. So as you know, every single workout, we will build upon the last one, and especially we have a same format following each of these workouts, each and every different day. But for each day, it's gonna just build upon the last time. So again, we have 20 different moves. Each move is gonna be 45 seconds long. It's gonna have a 15-second rest break in between. So let's go ahead and let's get our water bottles, let's get hydrated, and we're gonna smash today's workout. All right, we'll get our timer rolling, and we're going at it, getting some water, staying hydrated. And first move, we got a single leg balance, toe touch. So we're not going to be as hyper concerned about keeping the back super flat here, but again, we're on one leg. We're reaching down and just trying to stretch, and then coming back up to the top. We're going to reset. So we're coming down. Again, watch that hip from over rotating. Keep that hip down, and we're just reaching down. It's okay if our back rounds a little bit. Since we don't have any weights here, we're not loading the spine or anything like that. So we're just trying to balance the one leg, reaching down. If you can't reach down and touch the toe, just go to the knee, come back up. Or if you can, go a little bit further, reach towards the shin and come back up. But ideally, if you can, just try and stay on that one leg and then balance. If you lose it, you can use your hands onto the ground and coming back up to the top. Again, watch from that hip from rotating, keep that hip down. We're reaching and stretching. Great. So you're gonna feel your calves kind of tense up a little bit. Again, we're working all these stabilizer muscles, especially our anterior tibialis, which is the front part of our shin. It's gonna get worked, all right? So we're gonna do the same thing on the other leg. Again, one leg's kicking back, we're reaching down. So we're balancing, and we are just trying to come down towards the ground, touch the toe, and back up to the top. If you can't touch the toe, just reach for the knee. Coming back up to the top and reset if you wanna go a little bit lower, and if you can, just try and balance on that one side, coming down. No matter how much I do this, you can see my ankle and my knee is moving a little bit. And that's because we're working our stabilizer muscles in the hip, the knee, ankle, and foot here, trying to get that balance. Again, watch the hip, and again, watch that ankle from over rotating too. So coming down, nice stretch, loosening it up, feeling the back of the calf, feeling that hamstring. And we're just trying to get those hamstrings loose and reaching. All right, so next move, we're gonna have a lateral lunge with a torso rotation, and then we're gonna do the opposite side. So with the lateral lunge, like we've done before in previous workouts, we're just gonna add a little twist to it, loosen up that spine. So standing tall, and I'm stepping out, lateral lunge, small rotation, dropping out to the side. And again, as I drop into it, I'll twist all at the same time as best I can, and then pushing back up together. So we're working the legs, getting some spinal rotation, and then coming back. As I drop into the lunge, I'm gonna do the rotation there, and then come back, and then push up together. Watch from dropping into the lunge and just pushing back up. Get that rotation, and then pushing back up together. And only rotate as far as you can go. Again, little twist. We're loosening up that lower back a little bit. Stepping out to the side, I'm dropping into it, rotating and twisting. Nice. Good. All right, we're gonna go back into the other side. You notice we work our legs a lot, and it's very important because they burn a ton of calories, okay? So we're gonna do the same thing, other side. Again, feet a little bit wider than hip width. We're stepping out to the side, lateral lunge with rotation, push, stepping up together, down, drop, rotating, and pushing. Dropping out to the side, nice twist. Adding a little flare to it, nothing too wild. Nice drop again, pushing the hips and the knees back. Getting that rotation. Again, my feet can be pointed out just a little bit. That'll help push those knees out. Rotate and twist, hips and butt back. Pushing up together. Dropping down. Nice twist. Working through it, we're almost there. A little bit more to go. We'll get one more rep. Drop, rotate, twist, and back up. All right, so next we got the single leg Romanian deadlift to reverse fly. So just like we did on the very, very first move, we did that single leg balance toe touch. Similar thing, except we're gonna throw in our arms and pinch our shoulder blades. So balancing on one leg, hip hinging, bending at the waist, boom, reverse fly, and then right back up to the top. Again, if you need a reset, coming down, again, keep that knee a little soft, hip hinge at the waist, nice stretch on the way down, abs are tight, pinch the shoulder blades, and then coming back up to the top. Again, we're really working those glutes, working the back of the legs, so we're balancing on one leg, reaching, pinching those shoulder blades, and coming right back up. Again, we're working our balance, working our stability. You might feel that ankle's moving around a little bit, and that's okay. Squeeze the shoulder blades, nice pinch, really get that contraction. And then coming back up to the top, all right? We're gonna do that same move on the other leg now. And we're still gonna use our shoulder blades. Again, focusing on opening it up, pinching those shoulder blades together, get that squeeze in the back. We're trying to make the mind-muscle connection here, very, very important. Balancing one leg, again, gonna keep my knees soft, getting ready for movement. Hip hinge, bend at the waist, inhale on the way down. Hands here, again, just right underneath the shoulders, opening, pinching those shoulder blades, coming down and coming back up. Again, these are all our foundational movements. With this beginner program, I wanna build a solid foundation because as we start adding dumbbells and weights in the future, you're gonna have a very strong core. So again, we're coming down, hip hinging, watch that over rotation, keep that hip down, bend at the waist, feel that stretch in the back of the leg, that calf, that hamstring. Squeeze those shoulder blades down and up. We'll sneak in one more. Boom. Nice squeeze, and we're back. All right, I got a squat stretch with overhead arm reach. You notice we're gonna do these squat stretches here and there in our program, because again, I'm trying to get the body loose. So we're gonna come down in the squat. Nice stretch, down at the bottom, open the hips up a little bit, overhead arm reach, back down and back up. You notice I squat a little low, but if you can't, check it out. Just come down, partial squat, work on raising the hands. If this is all you got, that's okay. We might be a little tight, but we wanna go a little further and then back up. But if you can, squat down low, give it a little wiggle, push those knees out, and then open with the hands looking up at the ceiling. And back up. Squatting down, knees out, hands outside of the foot. I like sitting in here because I can use my elbows to flare those knees out, and then overhead arm reach. Let's sneak in one more. Boom, squat, stretch, reach, and up. Awesome. All right, we got our squat to overhead press. So we're just gonna build off the last movement we did. We're gonna pretend we have weights in our hand. Again, if you want to use water bottles or light dumbbells, you can. But again, we're just body weight only. So we're squatting, having our hands up, and then punch. Boom, all the way up overhead. Squat, knees out, and punch. Again, when I come up to the top of the squat here, my legs are still 3/4 bent, pushing, all right? Pushing straight up. Imagine my biceps touching my ears. Coming down to the side. Squat, press. Back down, squat, press and extend. So we're getting our legs, we're getting our shoulders, we're feeling our arms, working right now. Again, every time I come up to the squat too, make sure you're squeezing those glutes. Pelvic thrust forward, squeeze the glutes, coming down, pressing up. Inhale on the way down, exhale up. Nice, all right. Now we're gonna get down towards the ground and we're gonna do a quadruped, alternating inverted palm stretch here. So basically, if we can't quite get into this, we're just gonna keep one hand down. So the alternating palm stretch, I'm sitting here and I'm just rotating. I'm switching sides. One hand is down, I'm stretching one side, because in the future, we're literally gonna get both hands upside down like that, but sometimes this can be a lot of pressure. So don't worry about that yet. Okay, if you can, go for it. You can stay right there and just wiggle around a little bit, but we're just gonna alternate. So we're here. Palm upside down, rock it a little bit, get a nice stretch, okay, and then other side. Dropping that palm upside down. This is gonna open up our wrists. It's gonna help stretch our forearms, tops of the wrists, especially if we have tightness there, if we've had a fall before. It's a really good one to do because it's gonna really help open it up. Sometimes people might fracture an elbow or an arm, and I'll include this in some rehab, just trying to get some movement in there. So next we're gonna do a hand walk inchworm. So with the hand walk inchworm, this is gonna be taking us into a very good dynamic move I use with a lot of my clients. And main reason being because we're working our core, but we're stretching out the legs. So we're here, we're hip hinging, bending at the waist. Okay, if you can't reach all the way down yet, you might just try as best you can round the back, walk it forward, and we're gonna get into that plank position. Hold the plank, and let's walk it back. Push with the arms. And again, try and keep the bend out of the knees. Keep them straight or a little soft bend. If you have to, you can. And then we're gonna walk it back up to the top. So we're coming down, nice stretch, walking it out, plank position. Keep the abs tight, holding it right there. And then we're bringing it all the way back up. And we're gonna get one more rep, coming up to the tall, chest tall, back down, stretch those hamstrings, walk it out. Abs tight, plank position. And we are gonna walk it back up to the top. So next we're gonna get back down onto the ground, and we got a double crunch, hip, glute, stretch. All right, so with the double crunch, hip, glute stretch, basically I'm just gonna alternate. I'm gonna pull, and I'm crunching up, and I'm extending the arms and the legs out, and then I'm pulling and dropping down. So this is kind of getting a lot more core, but we're pulling the hip and the glute. We're getting loose here and getting this double crunch movement. So I'm bringing the legs out. If you have to tap the legs down onto the ground and do it like we did in the very beginning of some of our workouts, you can, and just go right here. But if you got the energy, try and hover the legs. Reach and pull. You might even alternate, push one knee, pulling the ankle right there, all right? So we're just gonna go ahead and do this exact same thing again, and we're just gonna alternate side to side. Just working a little bit more. So back down on the ground, same deal. And we're reaching. And then we're pulling. And drop. And we're gonna do it again. Doubling it up. Sometimes we could do the same move twice. Since we have the 45-second work and 15-second rest, sometimes it's not a lot of time, but we can still work it. So let's just keep going through this movement. And again, if you're getting a little tired, just go ahead and drop that foot down. You can even do it 90 degree. Still try and crunch up a little bit, dropping the leg down and pulling. But again, if you have the energy, extend everything out, because I will really feel my abs by now. You should totally feel it. This one actually can get challenging, but if it's getting too hard, just go ahead and drop the heels down to the ground, getting that nice pull. All right, so next we're gonna have our knee side plank, hand to foot kick. So we're gonna get back down onto the ground, and then what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to loosen up my hamstring. So I'm gonna get into that side plank position, and I'm just kicking my hand to my foot. So we're right down onto the ground, back knee is bent, boom, nice kicks. So we're staying into that side plank, kicking that hand to the foot. And again, we're loosening up that hamstring, but every time I kick, I'm taking the air out of the lungs, getting a nice contraction. And again, we're kicking. So we got our abs working. We're loosening up our hamstrings. I feel my shoulders, even feel my biceps just a little bit. Feel my abs, my core. Everything's working here. I'm sweating. Keep pushing through. Almost there. Nice kicks to each side. If you can't kick all the way, just kick as far as you can as your hamstring will allow, all right? But do the best you can to kick all the way forward. So break for just a second. We'll shake it off, and then we're gonna get the opposite side. So plank down onto the ground. Again, we're gonna have that 1 foot out right there. And again, we're working on that range of movement and just trying to kick the hand to foot. So right here, keeping that hip up, kicking the hand to foot, staying in that side plank position, and just working through it. It's another really good move here too, that not only do you get the core, but again, we're gonna feel the tops of our thighs, definitely gonna feel the hips a little bit. They're getting worked. We're loosening up the hamstring. We got a lot going on here. getting in a little bit of cardio. And again, every single time you kick, if you can't kick as far, bring that hand to the knee. That's fine. You might even try and kick and then pull the calf a little bit if you have to. But again, just trying to bring that hand to foot, getting those kicks, exhaling with every rep. All right, so going back, we're gonna do a single leg glute bridge. We just did these on the previous day, but we will do them again. Again, we're just activating those glutes. We've got body weight exercise, so it's not too bad if we repeat some movements. So again, one leg, keep the other leg elevated, thrust, down and up. Nice squeezes, contracting the glutes, thrusting the hips up. If you have to, you can keep this knee back. Just driving up, keeping those shoulder blades down, pushing through the heel, working the glutes. You'll even feel the hamstrings a little bit. I notice sometimes that we're trying to activate our glutes, but hamstrings get involved and that's all right. Do the best you can to contract the glute. Like I said, if you want to keep that leg out, make it a little bit harder, go for it. If you want to raise it up a little bit, you can. The more you bend the knee, the easier it gets. Nice squeeze in the glute. We'll break for just a moment and then we're going to do the single leg glute bridge on the other side. As you get better conditioned, you'll be able to handle more of some of these similar body weight exercises to where you can almost do some every day and it'll be part of a regular routine. So we're here, one leg elevated, bend the knee back, thrust the hip up. This, like I said, just makes it a little bit easier. And a lot of times when I'm doing these, you'll notice my leg that's down onto the ground here. I generally keep that heel up sometimes. It's just one of those little mental tricks that I use. It really helps me accentuate the contraction and the squeeze of my glutes. But although keep the foot down, just remember you never want to get onto the ball of the foot, like on towards your toes. You want to drive all that pressure through the heel. So as you go through these, see if you can get a little bit more extension. Drive through the heel, really squeeze that glute, thrusting the hip up. Nice squeeze, good contraction. All right, we're going on through. And then we're gonna come back flat onto the back and we're gonna do a 90-degree reverse crunch. So still sticking with some beginner movements here. So flat down onto the back, 90 degrees, bringing it up, nice tuck, and then right back down. Exhaling, taking the air out of the lungs, getting a deep exhale and a squeeze. Again, I like to bring the hips up just a little bit, if you can. And then bringing the legs back down. When I get that little extra hip lift, it's just a little extra contraction. Feel free if you want to use your hands behind the head, just lifting the hips up, getting a nice squeeze, good contraction, working those abs. Abs are one of those things that, you know, it's a very small muscle. I mean, there's a lot to it, but we can still work it pretty often as long as they're not too sore. So next we're gonna lie down and we're gonna get our single arm, opposite leg, Superman Y-outs. And then we're gonna do it on one side and then we're gonna do it on to the opposite side. So again, we're lying down here, arm and leg, just raising out and up. I have one hand down onto the ground. I'm just doing one side, raising that arm and leg. And I'm also pushing this front hand into the ground just for a little bit of support. Because if I were to raise it, I mean, you can. It makes it a little harder actually, but just keep it into the ground, push. And again, we're working our erector and our lower back. We're working the back side of the shoulder. We're squeezing the top of the glutes here. And again, just working one side. Often, a lot of times you'll see these Supermans in here because for a body weight routine, to really work the lower back and work the back side of the body, this is one of those moves that's just very well. And again, no equipment's needed. So we're gonna do the same thing onto the opposite side. I'm just gonna get that hand and then we're just gonna raise it on up. So we'll get ready, head down, raising up, opposite side. Raising the opposite arm to leg. Nice extension. Nice squeeze. Our lower back is getting worked. Back side of the shoulder. Top of the glutes. For some of you, this might be the most Supermans you've ever done in a program before. But again, we don't have any other weights or equipment, so we're trying to bring a lot of balance to the body and working muscles that we don't really work too often. And it's very easy to cut up working everything we see on the front side of the body. So this is important that we also work the back side as well. All right, getting close. One more. All right, we got the lying lat squeezes. So this is just gonna be pretty much on our upper body. And I'm gonna imagine like I'm doing a lat pull down. And you'll see in some of my future workouts that we'll do some lat pull downs for the back. So we're here, lat squeeze. I'm gonna pop up just a little bit just with the upper body and then squeeze. Watch the shoulders from rounding, keep them down. And extend up, pull, squeeze, sticking that chest out a little bit and coming up. You're still gonna feel the lower back a little bit. Try and keep that head in a neutral position. And again, I'm getting a deep squeeze, driving those elbows in. You wanna imagine like you're driving those elbows, tucking them into the side of the body, really squeezing those lats. Can't really go too wrong here. I just wanna make sure I don't shrug. Keep those shoulders back. So every time I pull and squeeze, I like to stick my chest out so it keeps my shoulders from rounding forward, which we don't want. One more, drive those elbows in and squeeze the lats. And we are good to go. Woo, we made it through another workout. Week 2 is complete. Thank you so much for finishing through with me. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you taking the time to invest in your health by doing this workout. So stay tuned because next week we're gonna take things even a little further as we get into week 3, and we're gonna be building upon each one of the exercises that we did here today. So again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you in the next workout.